Growth should make a company stronger, but for a lot of businesses, it quietly does the opposite. The faster they grow, the thinner their margins get. And suddenly, what looked like progress starts to feel like pressure. It's not because revenue's the problem. It's because the systems built to manage yesterday's business can't keep up with today's pace. That's when profits begin to erode, not in sales, but in the spaces between operations, finance, and delivery. If that sounds familiar, stay with me, because today we're going to talk about how to scale without losing control of your profit. Welcome to the Budding Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm Randy Bridges, business advisor, consultant, coach, and trusted partner to service-based business owners who are serious about performance, profit, and progress. This podcast exists to do one thing: help you solve the real problems that stall your growth, kill momentum, and burn out the very people who built your business. So let's get started, shall we? All right. We are on episode 222, and today is Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025. Let me take a guess. You're probably the one holding the company together. You're managing delivery schedules, balancing costs, and keeping projects moving while the business keeps growing. You've built structure, you've trained your team, and you've optimized your processes. But no matter how hard you work, profit still feels unpredictable. That's not a leadership issue, that's a system issue. Because scaling isn't supposed to mean losing control of your numbers. It's supposed to make them more stable. You're not alone in this, by the way, if you're facing this. I work with leaders every week who face the same margin squeeze. Great growth on paper, but profit that's harder to hold on to. It's the reason I built profit-driven operations, to help operators like you turn efficiency into profitability with systems that scale cleanly. Now, you'll find a link in the description if you want to see how that works. But for today, we're breaking down how to scale operations without losing control of your profit. And by the end of this episode, you'll know how to connect the dots between visibility, workload, and margin so you can scale with confidence and not chaos. Let's start with a definition and context to get our sea legs for today's topic. Scaling isn't just about growing revenue. It's also about protecting the profit that comes with it. Most businesses scale effort, but not the earnings. They grow complexity faster than they grow clarity. And that's why when the business speeds up, the numbers start drifting. It's not that you're doing anything wrong. It's that your systems were built for a smaller, simpler business. When visibility can't keep up with velocity, you lose control of the margin that growth was supposed to create. That's where profit-driven operations begins, at the point where operations and finance finally start moving in sync. Now, if you want to scale profitably, you need structure that grows with you. I call this the profit control model, and it rests on three pillars: visibility systems, capacity calibration, and operational leverage. Let's take a little deeper look into each of those individually. Visibility systems. Profit protection starts with visibility. You have to be able to see everything in order to manage it. And when your financial feedback arrives maybe weeks, months later, you're already reacting to the past. The best performing leaders build real-time systems that connect revenue, workflow, and resource use. We're talking about dashboards, about live margin reports, and automated updates, which aren't luxuries, they're actually control mechanisms. When you can see what's profitable as it happens, you control the margin instead of chasing it. Second comes capacity calibration. We're talking about capacity of matching workload to profit targets before the burnout sets in. Here's what happens in most businesses. The team takes on more work, the owner pushes growth, and the staff stretches to keep up. Sure, the output goes up, but so do mistakes, rework, and fatigue. That's the difference between profitability and efficiency. Capacity calibration means building systems that cap the workload before returns start shrinking. It's not about working harder, it's about working at the right load for sustainable profit. And finally, there's operational leverage. The simplest way to protect profit is to eliminate the hidden costs that creep in when people are forced to manually manage the repeatable tasks. They automate what repeats, they simplify what confuses, and they focus the people on high-value work that directly drives margins. You see, efficiency doesn't come from cutting hours. It comes from freeing time for creativity, for decision-making, and for value creation. A few months ago, I worked with an operations manager in a professional service firm. Their revenue had grown 30% year over year. Sounds great, but the net profit had fallen to half its normal rate. The manager was tracking performance, managing schedules, keeping clients happy, but she couldn't see why profit kept sliding. When we reviewed her systems, we found the problem plain as day. Workload and pricing were not aligned. Projects were usually running over capacity, and her team was stretched thin, to say the least. But none of that showed up until it hit the P&L. So we implemented two key systems to get that information quicker. We built a live dashboard linking the hours worked to real-time profit margins. And we built a capacity model that flagged when teams were overcommitted before it became a cost. Within 90 days, her project throughput increased by 40%, and profit margin rebounded by another 18%, all without cutting labor or raising prices. That's the power of a profit-driven operation. So here's our quick diagnostic this week to find your profit control gaps. Identify which clients or projects are truly profitable right now. Measure your team's workload alignment. Does it align with your target margins? Do your systems show you why profit moves, or does it just show when it moves? And could you take a step back for a week and still trust the numbers that are coming from your system? If any of those made you hesitate, that's your next improvement target. In our closing reflection, profit doesn't vanish because of bad sales. It slips away in the handoff between operations and finance and delivery. When you connect those three systems, profit doesn't just return, it starts scaling. Scaling isn't about working harder. It's about designing flow that protects margin as your business expands. The best operators don't chase profit. They build it into their systems. So as you look at your week ahead, remember, build it smart, run it clean, stay aligned. That's it for this episode. I hope you picked up some valuable insights and maybe even sparked a few new ideas. If you want to keep the conversation going or maybe even explore partnerships, don't hesitate to reach out. And hey, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. The steps you take today could be the start of something big tomorrow. For the budding entrepreneur, I wish you the best in your health, your wealth, your business, your family, everything about you. Take care, and we'll see you back here next week.